Well, I was listening to the videos of people who were talking about consumership and how black people should patronize black businesses. And I saw some videos where people were trying to take their money out of regular mainstream banks and put it into black banks. I've also heard talks where people said that they should patronize black owners of restaurants and clothing stores, and they should buy black products. And there was recently a big thing about Shea Moisture. Um, and some people were for it, some people were against the opening up the mainstream clientele that isn't black and making Shea Moisture available to white people and changing the products. And some people said that it was watered down, it was no longer good for black people's hair. And so I've heard lots of myriad of complaints, and then I've also seen where people say that it's hard to have black businesses because there's so many different influences like video games and certain clothing that all kids of all backgrounds find appealing, and it may not be a black owner or a black producer or a black person that created it. And so the question is, do you need these things, these products? Is it something that you really need, or is it something that you like or you want? And there's a lot of people in the world who aren't black and they consume just as much as black people do. But I do understand where people want to have something that is inclusive of their culture, and they want something that reflects who they are as people. And I don't see anything wrong with having black businesses, black owned restaurants and businesses, and like any other culture, they do the same thing. And so I think there is no problem. There are some things that no matter what you do, you're going to buy those products because it's either every day, every week, every month, or every 2 or 3, 3 weeks out of a month. You're going to buy those products regardless. And so consumership is going to happen with everyone. There are things that you can't say, oh, I'm not going to buy it because it's not a black owned product. There are some things, regardless whether it is a black owned product or not, you're going to need it, or you're going to buy it, or you're going to have it somewhere in your house. But there are situations that are within our boundary of control that we can say, I'm going to choose, instead of eating at a restaurant that isn't black owned, I'm going to eat at a black owned restaurant. Instead of buying these types of clothes, I'm going to buy some clothes that a black rapper maybe started a line of clothing. I know recently my sons are really intrigued. They're really excited about a clothesline that I think it's Kanye West and then Snoop Dogg, and then there's some other, designers that have male, like the young males clothing. And recently in the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw district, they've had the clothing in Forever 21. I thought Forever 21 back in my years was just for females, but they have male clothing, and it's trendy. And we also know that black women usually will go into these beauty supply shops to buy products. And this is, I would say, on average, like probably a big amount of money is filtered into these shops. But the thing is, it's always Korean owned. But we want to see black owned beauty supply shops, because this has to be a lucrative business if you have so many Korean shop owners that own these businesses. Now, in the LA area, there are a lot of Korean shop owners, and they're very business oriented, and they usually will have shops like these, and they know what types of products black people will use in their hair and like to what kind of styles of clothes and music you like to hear and wear. And so the issues that have been raised is, when can we have black store owners and take pride in our communities and put our money back and buy black and try to build up communities so that we have communities that reflect who we are as a people, because other cultures do it. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't find that racist whatsoever, because you do want to feel pride in who you are and your community and feel like people care, because you want to have black businesses that cater to your needs. And it's a reflection of you. It shows people care about the community. So I saw this Wilson's Where To Handy Guide of where to eat, drink, and be merry. In other words, concerts, events, culture, black culture. And I believe that's what's missing, and that brings a unity in communities that have been on the decline. And so I saw this handy dandy guide. It has a whole slew of restaurants that are black owned. I put this here because this is sort of an example of how we'll have like outdoor vendors in the Leimert Park area in Los Angeles. They'll have like festivals, music, Afrocentric music, clothing, dance, poetry readings. Sometimes they'll have political events that they hold in the Leimert Park area. And it is all representative of African peoples or African American here today that live in the LA area. There are also other pockets, other areas as well, but Los Angeles, I'm talking about that. And Baldwin Hills has an excellent restaurant that I had recently went to called Buffalo Wild Wings. And the restaurant is delicious. It had delicious food. It's a sports bar. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. This is not the restaurant. This is another restaurant. I just wanted to put this on here. It's a black-owned restaurant. I don't know the exact name of this restaurant, but I'm sure this restaurant is in the list of the Where To Wilson's Guide. So this is just to give you a picture of the atmosphere, you know, the nice lighting, the nice sit down atmosphere. And the one that I was going to tell you about was Buffalo Wild Wings. It was a restaurant. The food was delicious, and it's owned by Karim, Webb, and Ed Barnett. They also have two other Buffalo Wild Wing restaurants in the Carson and Torrance area. And so I'll read a little bit while I'm looking at this, or we're looking at this restaurant. You'll see the two men. I have their photos. They'll come up in a minute. Like any other Buffalo Wild Wings across the country, expect to find a casual sports bar atmosphere to consume copious amounts of wings and beer while watching the latest sports game. Yet, what sets the location apart from other Buffalo Wild Wing establishments is that it's achieved the highest sales percentage increase of any Buffalo Wild Wings since 2012, 13, and 14. It's co-owned by, again, the community leaders. And listen, when I say community leaders, Karim Webb and Ed Barnett, pictured below, who also own two other of the Buffalo Wild Wings, like I said, in Carson and Torrance. And so you have a community of Carson and Torrance where they're black homeowners. Also in the Beverly, we call it the Black Beverly Hills, Baldwin Hills. There's also Ladera Heights, and then there's Windsor Hills. They're like the Black Beverly Hills, where you'll have black homeowners that own like mansions. They own nice homes. There's a working class in the lower area of Baldwin Hills, but in the surrounding area, there's been some lot of rebuilding. So there's going to be some new establishments and new businesses, but primarily if you go into that area of the Crenshaw district, you'll find a mix of Latin and black people from all over, and black American people who are now, they have businesses. And this is the two men who owned Buffalo Wild Wings. I thought it was excellent. So if you stop by the area and you want to have some good, um, sports bar ambiance, um, stop in the Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye.